Hello viewers, how are you? Today I am the Pakistan. The capital of the Pakistan is Islamabad, and one of my friend is Imtiaz Gul. He's a very senior journalist and very specialist in the current affair and international affair. And we are going to talk about the situation about in the Middle East, what is going on, and war and peace, which is better, how to deal with this issue. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you?
Mush mushy.
Mushi mushi. Sashiburi this. So I think he can speak Japanese too, but we have been doing long time friendship.
With limitations,
Yes.
It ends with mushi mushy.
Mushi mushi.
Starts with mushi mushy and ends with mushi.
And with mushi mushi, and finally say arigato.
Arigato. Sayonara.
Sayonara. So you have been in Japan also, many times. Have been working with the Japanese media too.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Imtiaz Khan, I would like to ask you that how is your observation? This is the world affair. That's what's happening. This World War Third or Second? What is going on?
Well, the World War Third does not have to be a massive bombardment of one block of the other, but we already see the world is in turmoil. I was attending a UNDP talk very recently in Islamabad, and the official there, I wouldn't name him, although he was saying it publicly, he said that everything is going down and the human beings are becoming less and less relevant, and it's the geopolitical interests that are taking the lead. And we basically painted a very grim scenario of the world, saying that there are conflicts abound in almost every nook and corner of the world, particularly Asia and Africa. And so that's the situation right now. It may not be the Third World War, but we are already seeing the glimpses of that, and I think it will stay this way. And in this situation, the old notions like the rule of law, democratic values, they have all taken the backseat.
I see. So, Mr. Imtiaz, I think we are watching around the world, this is world news, but I want to ask you to looking this issue from the lens of Pakistan, how the Pakistani peoples are looking at it. That a lot of the religious peoples are in Pakistan, and maybe they want to go to jihad and whatever. A lot of thinkings are, exist in this country.
No, there's not actually. Of course, there's a lot of empathy and sympathy for the Palestinians. Pakistan is probably the only country which has stuck to its position on the issue of Palestine. But currently the country is caught up, trapped in its own problems, in its own political crisis. And that's why the focus is more internal than on external issues such as Palestine or Kashmir. So we used to have the Kashmir issue. India abrogated the special status of Kashmir back in August 2019, and not a single big country opposed it. Nobody talked about the reversal. They simply accepted it.
I see.
Similar is the case with Israel. They are doing whatever they want, and there's a long history of what Israel has done to the Palestinians. We had heard of Nakba 1. So Nakba 1 was something that was the Israelis staged in 1948, asking the Palestinians to leave their territories so that they can finish the war with the Arab countries, and that was primarily Egypt. And they were told that once the war is over, you can come back. But when the Palestinians wanted to come back, they were either denied or let in a very selective manner, and this is how the West Bank and the Gaza Strip were created, and they were restricted mostly to these two areas, and the rest of the area the Palestinians took. And many Egyptians and Palestinians believe that this is actually Nakba 2, in which the Palestinians have been largely driven out of the northern Gaza, and the Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, has made it very clear that the Israeli forces are going to stay there for quite some time. And that basically means they will occupy the area, reconstruct it, and apparently they will then let people come back after screening, after security procedures. And this basically means annexation of more lands.
So, but I was watching, news that the Pakistani, not religious leader, much is religious leader, particularly the JUI, Maulana Fazlur Rahman has been going to Qatar and meeting with the Hamas leader, and the world is watching here that maybe Pakistan going to do some action, or what is the behind story out of
Well,
it?
but Maulana Fazlur Rahman does not represent Pakistan.
Yeah, he goes
He's
personal.
So he may have a large network of religious seminaries and mosques, but he has very small representation in Pakistan's parliament, and Pakistani population's majority is not as religious as Maulana Fazlur
How's it
Rahman
showing
and his
that?
party. So, but obviously we cannot disregard the sentiment among the religio-political parties among the religious elements, that how they look at Palestine, how everybody feels aggrieved, and it's not about Pakistan alone. The entire world is so grief-stricken after what they have seen happening in Palestine. Even the hospitals have been targeted in a very brutally. The entire world is speaking out. The UK parliamentarians, even the Jews themselves,
they're doing
in New York, they have
protest,
spoken against it because they have said that there's a distinction between Zionist state and the Jews. So you may condemn the Zionists, the Israeli government, but don't please condemn the Jews. Jews are very peaceful people.
Yes, very religious people. So, Mr. Imtiaz, okay, this was our issue about this. I got this. Now I come to the Pakistan issues. I want to ask you that because you are very specialist in the terrorism in Pakistan or Afghanistan, how to deal with it. A lot of the Afghan, refugees are sending back to Afghanistan, and government is dealing with this. What do you think about it? Can we control the terrorism due to this?
No, this is a very flimsy argument to say that because of the undocumented Afghans here in Pakistan, terrorism is taking place. It's not because of that. I know we have to be very clear. There are 2.2 million Afghan refugees still living in Pakistan. They are all documented, and nobody is touching them. The deadline for their stay in Pakistan has once again been extended for another 6 months. So what we are dealing with is about 1 million people, a little over 1 million people, who came to Pakistan with the arrival of the Taliban regime in August 2021. And these 1 million people either came on visas, but then did not extend their visas, or they came with fake documents, which they said were issued by the Afghan government at that time. So there are many fake documents among them. It's called the ID card of Afghans, Tazkira. So largely we're dealing with those Afghans who have stayed beyond the validity of their visas, or who lack valid documents. So it's not that Afghan refugees are being sent, it's the illegally overstaying Afghans who the government wanted to document, regulate their inflow and outflow, and all those people who are being sent back, they were told you can return to this country only after getting a visa.
You are very specialist about terrorism issues, and this 20 years we have been sacrificing due to this horrible things. A lot of military people have been sacrificed their life, policemen, even our nation has been destroyed by this terrorism, especially now the TTP. I said that the TTPs belong to Pakistan. Afghan Taliban is okay. Now the TTP is going to against to Pakistan and making attack to here, and now they are publishing their lot of news in Urdu news in the network and trying to maybe escort the people to come and join us. What do you think about this? The TTP, how to deal with the TTP?
TTP is a terrorist organization.
Okay.
It's banned by Pakistan as well as by the United States and by the United Nations. And we believe it's a proxy terrorist organization which may be working on behalf of some external powers. It's difficult to create a link and provide some evidence for that. But if we look at the demands of the TTP, these demands are non-negotiable for any state. So when you place non-negotiable demands on the table, this basically means you are not interested in dialogue, you are not interested in the resolution of the problem, and that the objective is to simply create insecurity, a sense of insecurity, instability in that country. So that's why they are seen as the proponents, as the instruments of instability in Pakistan, and that's why they refuse to talk. And that's why I think the government basically lost patience, particularly when the TTP crossed into Pakistan from far north area that is called Chitral, and they attacked Pakistani security post between the night of the 5th and 6th of September. And that was, I think, the red line that the TTP crossed, and that was a red line that Pakistan did not accept as far as the Afghan Taliban's actions against the TTP are concerned, because Pakistan has been demanding an end to the TTP terror. They reside, most of them reside in Afghanistan. Their top leader, Nur Wali Masood, also lives in Kabul with his family. So are his deputies. So it's a very tight, tough call for the Afghan Taliban how to deal with them, because these guys have been supporting the Afghan Taliban during the last 20 years of their jihad against the American forces, and they do not want to just throw them out. It's like the Afghan Taliban look at TTP as in their social context. The socio-tribal context basically demands taking care of your guests, not to turn your back on people who may have helped you at some stage. So this is a very tricky situation for the Afghan Taliban. On the one hand, they say we will take actions against the TTP, but on the other hand,
can't do that.
They are constrained by their socio-political order, the traditions, the culture, that basically demands you cannot go against your former partner.
I see. Okay, Mr. Imtiaz Gul, this is very good, very informative information. I got it. And now it's coming back to the Pakistan situation. That election is coming. They announced that on 8th February. It will be held or not?
I wish I had the crystal ball to tell you whether the elections are being held on 8th of February.
Okay. So if held, what will be happen? I think that most of the, maybe TTP will attack or like terrorism, a lot of people.
Well, TTP, as I said, it's a proxy terrorist group. They will always try to exploit situations as and when they deem fit. So this has got to do more with the global politics. It is not just the TTP that wants to, wants a slice of the territory in the border region and wants to establish its caliphate there. It's not that simple.
Not simple.
So the terrorist attacks will continue happening. They have been happening even in the past elections, whether they were in 2008, 2013, 2018. All those elections were accompanied by a certain degree of violence by the TTP, but that did not stop the holding of election. However, people outside Pakistan must understand that if the current news around the former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his party continues, if the government continues to deny them the right to converse and to hold rallies, to converse for election, so there is no free field available for them. So as long as they are denied this free space for electoral preparations, this election will be a farce. There are a lot of people who jokingly say that this is probably the only election about which we didn't know until recently when will it be held. But we are very sure of the outcome. Who will win it?
Who will win? The result is over there.
This result is already there. The former Prime Minister and his party, and Nawaz Sharif. So this is what everybody is talking about.
Knows
so we don't know whether actually things will happen this way. But as of now, the people are very clear that the entire situation is being prepared in favor of Nawaz Sharif. And if this is the case, then there is no need, I personally think, I've said this already, to hold election, to spend 60 to 70 billion rupees on that. Why not spend that money on health and education infrastructure in this country?
Yes, very informative, really. Now everything is clear. So, Mr. Imtiaz Gul, I think the whole international media is watching this is our interview. I want to ask you, please give your message to the whole international media that the situation of Pakistan, how Pakistan can be survive in this kind of war situation, like Israel is going to war there, nobody is going to stop there, and nobody can veto them. Even the America is trying to stop the war, they can't do it. How Pakistan can take role of?
Well, if you look at the Ukraine war that started in February 2022, so, and if we look at the BBC reports, so it suggests that the Ukraine war brought with it some bounty for Pakistan. This is what the BBC report says, that a lot of ammunition from Pakistan went to Ukraine. So this was an opportunity, cash opportunity for Pakistan. But if you look at the Gaza conflict, this has worked against several investment economic cooperation plans of Pakistan. Pakistani leadership had hoped to rope in some investment from the Middle East, from Saudi Arabia, from Qatar, from the United Arab Emirates. But now with this new conflict, with nearly 2 million people getting out of homes, forced out of homes, and then most probably ending up in huge refugee settlements, the entire focus of the Middle Eastern countries as well as of the world organizations will turn to taking care of those Palestinian refugees instead of, at least as of now, thinking of investments in Pakistan.
I see. So viewers, I think you enjoy this talking as an international affair, domestic affair, terrorist affair. I think this is very special. We have long time, more than 40 years, long time friends, as a journalist friend. I'm doing journalism in Japan, he's doing that worldwide. So I think I'm going to link his YouTube channel and his own media network. Please go to and watch his more detailed information. He's doing very, very deep, observative, research center. And I would like to ask you to please check his own YouTube channel. Mr. Imtiaz Gul, thank you very much. Nice to meet you, and I think it's good.
Welcome.
Good. Thank you.
Always
very much.
good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you.